And I was shipped down to this boarding school in County Waterford, and I found it very difficult to fit in there. And it was very difficult because people had different valued systems to me. It wasn't very fair, the way things were run. There was a lot of brutality, a lot of very bad beatings. It was nothing to get slapped 6 times on each hand with a cane, with a strap, to get boxed around the ears, to get knocked to the ground and kicked. The sexual abuse came in the form of, they used to have visiting priests who would come and run retreats. And it was the usual fire and brimstone. And I was very young going to school. I was only 11. So even a lot of what these retreat people would be talking about was over my head. They were talking about, masturbation and bad thoughts. And I really hadn't entered that world yet. I was still quite innocent. And when I did become aware myself of sexual feelings and masturbation, and just the high stakes that there were involved in those days, that if you died in a state of mortal sin, you went to hell if you had a bad thought or an impure action. And that's a very heavy load to place on kids, and particularly on me. I found it really unfair. And I remember being quite worried about all of that. And there was one particular year, I was probably about 13, 14, actually going to have my confession heard by the priest that was running the retreat in the parlour. Because there was a sense that if you went to the confessional box, it was quite informal. And I remember figuring out, because this man came across as really nice, hell's fire stuff, but at the same time quite nice. I thought maybe it might be an opportunity for me maybe to just talk out some of these issues. And to my horror, he molested me, opened my fly and felt my genitalia, and whatever way I responded or recoiled, he stopped. And I remember disengaging as quickly as possible and leaving that parlour. And as I was walking out, there was a door open into a bedroom. And I remember thinking, oh my God, I could have ended up there. And of course, you never talked about these things. It was only years later, when I went back to our reunion, that I decided I'd actually go around and ask people, were they actually abused by this guy? And it turned out there were large numbers where he had the full Monty, anally penetrated and oral sex. So we went as a group to the president of the college and said, like, have this guy removed. So obviously that particular incident was a turning point for me. I decided, oh my God, is this what is going on? And that particular incident for me was a turning point. Huge line in the sand. And created then all kinds of difficulties for me, because if I wasn't going to be a priest, or I wasn't going to be part of the religious culture, what was I going to do?